What is up, guys? Black Panther, Ultimate Black Panther issue number 2. Welcome to the channel. Please subscribe really quick and let's get on with it. Now, basically, guys, this is the review for the Ultimate Black Panther. I just want to say right off the bat that this is the T'Challa that we've been waiting for. This is exactly what the Black Panther should be all about. It's about a guy that's willing to die for his country. He's willing to do whatever. I'll be honest with you, the previous Black Panther run by Ta-Nehisi Coates, I read like the first 5 issues, and I just wasn't into it, man. It was like so political, and it was so much talk. It was so much, narrative, and he lost me. I really didn't like it. But this one, I mean, the action is there, the art is there. Like I said, this is the T'Challa that we've been waiting for. All right, let's get on with the review here. The writer is Brian Hill, the artist Stefano Caselli. Now, a little background from the previous issue here. A diabolical genius known as the Maker created his ideal Earth by systematically preventing anyone from ever becoming a superhero. To rule his perfect Earth, he placed supervillains in charge of different regions, and together, the Maker's Council quietly orchestrated the history of the world. Among them are Ra and Khonshu, collectively known as Moon Knights, who oversees Africa, all but the impenetrable, isolated kingdom of Wakanda. Recently, Ra and Khonshu began a campaign of violence across the continent, stirring dissent in Wakanda over whether to fight back. King T'Challa refused to strike in the name of protecting his kingdom from war. Thought his sister Shuri believed they have a moral responsibility to defend the innocent and vulnerable. But when T'Challa's father was publicly assassinated in the name of Moon Knight, the decision was made. And the issues start with T'Challa in the bed with his wife, Okoye. And, he's remorseful that his father died, He kind of blames it on himself. And Okoye is like, why are you doing what you're doing right now? You're imprisoning your people. You're searching all over Wakanda for your enemies. You're conducting interrogations. And, our people cannot even grieve your father with our trust, and it's affecting the community. And then he's like, among our people are servants of our enemies. I am doing what must be done to protect us. So, basically he's paranoid. He's trying everything he can to find the bad guys. And, Okoye is trying to calm him down, telling him that you are what Wakanda needs. Don't worry about it, And, he walks out of the room because he has a meeting in the temple of the Voodoo Khan. Now, the Voodoo Khan is a person that basically could kind of predict the future, could kind of see it. And T'Challa is sitting there with him. And what the Voodoo Khan is telling him is that he's going to meet a woman of light. Fate is going to intertwine between you and her, a bond made during war, and she will give you an heir, which means, she's going to give you a baby, T'Challa. And he's all like, Queen Okoye, right? She's going to give me my heir. She's the one for me. And Voodoo he's asking, she's close to you. She is your light, right? He's like, T'Challa says, she is my sanity. Now, the Voodoo is basically rejecting what he's saying. He's saying to T'Challa, destiny cares little for what we want, my king. And T'Challa is like speechless. Destiny doesn't care about us at all. Which is hilarious right there, because it's so true. You're not destined for, anything really. Destiny doesn't care. Whatever is going to happen is going to happen. Now, outside of the perimeter of Wakanda, there's a war going on. Basically with, the people that are trying to invade and the Wakandans, Shuri here is looking at the war, and she's all like, "Oh, we got it under control, brother. It's time for you to turn the tide." Though he comes out with this big old super airplane, Black Panther airplane, and he just like, boom, all of them. He's just like run over all of them, and they win this battle basically. And we go to the Khonshu's area here, the bad guys, and they're talking to somebody that's betraying Wakanda, someone that is betraying T'Challa. Khonshu and Ra out there asking her, "Wow, your information cost us a victory." And the secret person, because we don't see her face or his face, says, "I had betrayed Wakanda. As I betrayed them now, did I not give entrance to your assassin? Did I not place her next to Wakanda's king? And is the king not dead? Because the king is dead. T'Challa's dad is dead." And then she goes away, and Ra saying, "I do not trust her." And Khonshu is basically saying, "I don't trust her either, but I trust that she wants Wakanda down. She wants T'Challa not to be the leader anymore, So they have a mutual enemy, and it's in their best interest to go against that enemy, I guess. And she goes, she disappear, or he disappear, because we don't know who it is. And then we jump into the war room, and basically in the war room, they're talking about what's the next move for the enemy. Where are they going to go? And they're talking about the death of his father. He's still mourning, and then they are realizing that there's a traitor in the clan, and it must be somebody that got rejected by the kingdom. So we must find who it is, And they're looking for who. They're talking about who it is, and they're seeing the two brothers here. They're talking about the area where the enemy is usually at is where an animal migration has changed. Where the beasts are avoiding these places, and they connect it to the map and see that the area with the red dot is the area that the enemy should be. And then T'Challa is like, "I will go and see that place alone." And the spies are like, "No, king, let us." And he's like, "No, your job is to watch over my sister and the queen." And he goes along. T'Challa goes on this mission with Shuri in his earpiece, and he goes there, and boom, signal lost. He gets attacked. His airplane crash. He goes out, gets attacked by the enemy, gets shot up, and boom, what do you know? That may be the lady that gives him a baby. I don't know. But it is Storms, the ultimate Storm. And we see her for the first time, guys. She's right there standing right in front of T'Challa. And T'Challa is like, wow. And it is to be continued in Black Panther, Ultimate Black Panther issue 3. Again, this is the T'Challa that we all waited for. The action, the graphic, it's all there, guys. Follow me for the next review. Subscribe. And I will catch you guys later. What is up, guys? You know what time it is? It is time for Comic Hour. Now, for those of you who has to catch up about Ultimate Black Panther issue number 2, there's a link right here above. Do me a quick favor, subscribe, and here we go for the review of Ultimate Black Panther number 3. By Hill, Caselli, and Carell. So we begin here. It looks like obviously we're in Wakanda, and Sherry here, she is training. She's training with a possible robot that she probably built, and she destroys it with one punch. One punch. It seems like she's very strong. Now somebody is there, and obviously she is looking at Sherry's training, and Aurori, the wife of T'Challa, Okoye, the wife of T'Challa, is coming up and just talking to Sherry, and she is asking, she's saying here, weeks since we have had word from T'Challa, and Sherry here is saying, I know how long it has been, okay, and Okoye is coming in with an attitude saying, it's Queen Okoye, And Sherry here is saying, "Should I kneel, my queen?" And they're going back and forth here basically, and it looks like it's struggle for power. Obviously Okayi is the queen, and Shuri doesn't want to kneel to the queen because she's married to her brother. Doesn't mean that Okayi is going to bow down to her. And they go back and forth. Queen here, Okayi, is asking her not to give her back towards Okayi. And Shuri here slap her hand, and basically they get into the mode of fighting. Now, they're staring at each other. Next thing you know, the queen kicks her, and she kicks her back, and they are full-blown fist fight, queen and the princess here, and they're just fighting, and it's like a backyard type of fight, and it looks like Shuri got the best of her, trips her, hold her hands for her to come back up, and the queen says here, "Just tell me, is he on the right path?" And Shuri says, "He believes he is." Ooh, he believes he is. Now, we move on into the next scene here, and basically, this is Killmonger, the first, sights of Killmonger, where we see him hunting with T'Challa, and it seems here that they have been in this place for weeks now. T'Challa hasn't come back to the kingdom, and they talk about the land, and I am no stranger to the land, Killmonger, and they're hunting, and Killmonger and him are just like basically just hunting for survival. And it's dark now, and they're having their dinner, and Killmonger is telling him, "Your kingdom must miss you." And T'Challa says, "To protect my kingdom, I need to be here while Wakanda's enemy make their war." Killmonger says, "Wakanda, you said?" The word with so much pride. And, basically Killmonger is, giving King T'Challa his background. He was the son of a Wakandan, a prodigy son, but he said that he has little interest in returning to Wakanda because he feels that people that look like them outside of Wakanda are treated unfairly, and the kingdom does nothing to support and help them. And King T'Challa here says that the Black Panther protects the innocent. It protects everyone, and Killmonger tells him, "So it is said, let's turn our mind from the innocent to guilty. Tonight, Aurora, which is Storm, we want to show you something, what our enemy is truly seeking. But we need to go during the dark time, the nighttime, and we have to have hood on." And they arrive to this, unique location here, and it's an entrance, and the Black Panther animals is like the facade, is like the entrance. The Black Panther's face is there. And, Killmonger's like, there's so much more to Africa beyond Wakanda, What is this place? King T'Challa says, "I will show you why we have to stand against Ra and Khonshu." That is what Killmonger is saying. And they're going in, and, T'Challa, he's a little bit paranoid because he's suiting up into the Black Panther. And Killmonger is telling him, "You wear your armor expecting a fight? There's nothing to fear here. We both have trust issues, Eric." That's what T'Challa is saying, And, they see calligraphy, language that has been ages and nobody could read them. And, Killmonger basically tossed a fire carrier to the hole that's there, and they jump right in there. And there's vibranium everywhere. It's a treasure mine of vibranium. And the Black Panther says, "Vibranium, is that what the Moon Knight is seeking?" And basically, Killmonger is saying, no, not entirely, but come, I will show you. And it's mysterious and dark, and there's another hole here, deep hole. And Killmonger says we cannot, jump that one. It's way too far down. But Storm is down there, and she will lead us there. I just have to throw this vibranium in there, and Storm here guides them all the way down. And there's more vibranium because she commanded the wind. And they keep walking into this dark place. And here Storm is saying the unknown. This place, the people who built it, its culture is older than Wakanda. And T'Challa is saying impossible. The king is a master of possibilities now. That's what Storm is saying. Perhaps this room will make a king humble. They're checking the king's ego here, there, and they arrive there, and boom, wow, it's like he sees this ball full of energy. They don't know what it is, all three of them, but they know that this is very powerful. And to me, it looks like a universe, basically, maybe a portal where you could enter and go to a different universe. But it's green, and it looks very powerful. And that is it, guys. That was the comic. Not too much going on in this one, but basically, we're getting some interesting facts here about what the enemy is searching. They are searching for this power. Now, I just want to say thank you for watching this video. Thank you for subscribing. I just created a Patreon. If you want extra contents, there will be extra contents every week on my Patreon. Make sure you log in. It's only $3 a month. It's a cup of coffee. So subscribe if you want more contents. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out. All right, guys. Welcome to Comic Hour. This is for Ultimate Black Panther number 4 by Hill, Caselli, and Carell. Now, quick favor, make sure you subscribe and like. Okay, now if you need to get caught on, click the link above, watch that video, and come back to this one to figure everything out. Now, as you know from previous issues, T'Challa has been gone from Wakanda in search of his enemies. Along the way, he found Storm and Killmonger as allies. Now his country in need of leadership as they grow confused and tired of the politics as there are no kings to be found. Okoye, the queen of Wakanda, is here reassuring the city, giving a speech saying, "I have heard from our king. Soon he will be back among us. He has revelation about this war, about our enemies, about what they seek." Of course, she has no clue what she's talking about, as she herself has not even heard about King T'Challa or where he's been for some times now. She goes on and say that those who murdered King T'Chaka, the father of T'Challa, will be brought to justice. Again, she has no clue what's going on. She's trying to comfort the crowd. The speech was mainly to reassure a nation who has lost faith in their government. She ends by saying Wakanda forever. Now, a few moments later, Princess Shuri confronts the queen, saying, "You lie, but I understand why. I gave them what they needed, Shuri." "Faith," says the queen. Shuri tells her that she hasn't even heard from T'Challa for weeks, but must believe that he is still alive. Queen is saying that there are spies among them and that they must root them out of Wakanda. Shuri is optimistic, telling the queen that everything will be fine. "Perhaps you should be the one to speak to Wakanda," says the queen, as if she was offended. "Not me, Okoye. You are the queen," says Shuri, as she walks away. Later that night, the queen in her sleep feels a small drop of sweat coming down to her face. As she woke, She sees her attacker. She jumps off her bed and dodges a sword strike. The assassin is covered from head to toe, wearing a mask. Shuri comes into the queen's aid and runs after this unknown assassin, following a trail of blood as she sees the person in a dark alley saying, "End of Wakanda," saying the words "Ishatu," which gives Shuri an unknown distraction. The assassin begins her assault on Shuri, saying that she was raised by the beliefs of Wakanda, the lies they've been telling, and saying that Khonshu showed her the truth. Shuri is quick to notice the assassin's stance and calls her Dora Milaje, Wakanda's finest female soldiers. The assassin says that she was, and that Ra and Khonshu will make her a god. But as soon as she was going to deliver the final blow, King T'Challa shows up and stops her. The Black Panther says, "You will not harm my blood." "Brother, you are alive," says Shuri. "Alive and aware," says the king. Shuri is saying that she is Dora Milaje and that she spoke of Khonshu. The assassin did. All of a sudden, her body disintegrates. Now, find ourselves in the Temple of Ra, an unknown location. Yo, Milaje fell. You play with Wakanda rule. You underestimate them, says Khonshu to Ra. Now Ra is quick in saying that their king is dead. "They fear us," he says. Again, Khonshu says, "You underestimate T'Challa." Finally, someone as a bad guy who is wise. Ra says that he knows their name, but yet the king has no idea why they seek power and does not know what they truly are. For those of you who don't know where Ra and Khonshu come from, let me tell you and give you a little background that they are part of a grander scheme and that they work basically for the Maker, the ultimate new bad guy known as Reed Richards in the Marvel Universe. When the Maker decided to screw different multiverse, he gave this universe, this Wakanda, to Ra and Khonshu to control and take over. As you know, Reed Richards' plan was to destabilize all the superheroes from these universes, taking away their powers or changing the course of history so that none had ever even discovered their powers. Hint at the ultimate Spider-Man, who is older and recently, at an older age, found his power. The Maker took the spider away from his timeline, and that spider was supposed to bite Peter Parker and give him powers at a young age. Now, we return to Ra and Khonshu, and they are saying here that they will destroy Wakanda by the light of the moon. Moving on to the Queen and T'Challa. Okoye is upset at him, telling the king that he could have told her about his plans. "You are the king, and the king will do as he wants. But you are my husband, and I deserve to know if you are alive or dead," she says angrily, telling him that she gave a speech to their nation and had to lie to comfort the people. "I should have been here," says T'Challa. "The truth," says the queen. "That's all I ever ask is the truth. No more secrets," she says. T'Challa agrees. T'Challa explains to her that Ra and Khonshu are here for bad intentions, that they are looking for power, and it frightens him, he says. "Now, we need a new circle of trust," the king says, as we see the queen walking, covering and closing from head to toe. He asks her to meet him in the temples of the sacred dead. "Move in silence, tell no one where you are going, and trust no one," says King T'Challa. "My queen, meet our circle of force," as King T'Challa introduced him to Killmonger and Storm, with Shuri in the background. This new group looked like a force to be reckoned with, but will it be enough to defeat Ra and Khonshu? Find out in the next issue. And that is all for this issue here. Wow, things are getting heated here in Wakanda, with political turmoil and not knowing who their true enemies are capable of. It was an enjoyable read, and again, we don't know what that big powerball was in the last issue. As you can recall, so much to uncover, and that is what makes this comic great. This is the T'Challa that we've been waiting for, the stories we've been looking for. Let's just hope Marvel doesn't screw this up. Now, if you like, please subscribe and, of course, click the like button. And I will see you guys all next time. Thank you for watching, and peace out. What is up, guys? You know what time it is? It is time for Comic Hour. Now, today we're reviewing Ultimate Black Panther issue number 5 by Hill, Nieto, and Carell. Do me a quick favor, as we are a growing community. Please, if you could like and subscribe, and if you're watching this video and you like it, consider joining our community, subscribing and liking. Thank you for that. Now, if you need to catch up, click the link above and come back to watch this video. Now, we start the issue with the mysterious energy ball that our heroes have found. This is not vibranium. This is what Ra and Khonshu wants, says T'Challa. As he says that, Shuri and him have analyzed the ball and have a theory about it. But then, asks Storm if she can charge the vibranium rod, says T'Challa. As Storm does just that, as soon as she charges the energy ball, we could see a plant near the energy ball, and it's starting to grow and grow and grow. All of a sudden, 3 branches starts to come out of that plant. T'Challa comes to the conclusion that with the combination of vibranium and kinetic energy, it creates biological development. This material enhances life, basically, says the Black Panther. I need to see the Vodukon. As you know, the Vodukon is someone from Wakanda that advises the king, but also can kind of predict the future with rituals. They are demanded by the king when the king is clouded with issues and situations at hand. They are basically great advisor. You know what I have found, and I believe you know what it is, says T'Challa, confronting the Vodukon. The Vodukon is reluctant, and almost as if he was trying to tell T'Challa the truth about this energy ball, but then, he's holding back. But as the king insists, the Vodukon must tell what he knows. He goes back in history and start with telling T'Challa that 2 trails of fire came from the sky to Africa, each of them with great power. One of them, the element we know as vibranium, the other, it's that green energy ball. As he goes on, he tells that everything in the universe has its opposite, such as light and dark, day and night. This material is the opposite of vibranium. This material makes life. It can make whole kingdom born. As he concludes, this is what Ra and Khonshu want. They want its power to form a new kingdom. So now we know the objective of Ra and Khonshu, as he tells T'Challa that he must not let them claim this power. What I'm wondering about is what kind of kingdom do they want to form? As you know, Ra and Khonshu are part of the evil maniac Maker Council. If they can create an empire, is it really their empire, or is it the Maker's empire? As the Maker is in prison for 2 years in a city stuck with Howard Stark. But I won't go into that, as that is part of a bigger scheme and storyline. It's a huge storyline, guys, so I'll cover it as we go along in other issues. But for now, we switch back to the lower kingdom, where the bad guys are holding a farmer as prisoner. This is the first time we see Khonshu with his full suit on. The farmer is faithful to T'Challa and speak highly of him. You speak of him like he is a god, while a god stands before you now, says Khonshu. God will give you your purpose, as he put his hand on the farmer's head, and a scream can be heard in that location. Now, back with Shuri, as she is analyzing the power ball, when all of a sudden, a portal opens up. The farmer pops out with a suit on. For Khonshu, he says, as he attacks Shuri. For Wakanda, says Shuri, who attacks him. The farmer wants to break the glass and steal the energy ball. That is his objective. But Shuri stops him as he starts yelling. The sound is so loud that it breaks everything on his path. As he goes and trying to grab the ball of energy, Storm shows up and she stops him. Enough, you madman. She is so damn strong. Omega level mutant. Gotta love it. Now, we switch back to the bad guys. You have served your god well, farmer. As he grabbed the piece of energy ball that the farmer was able to retrieve. Now, we see them together, Ra and Khonshu. As Khonshu says that tomorrow we will build a kingdom. So, my guess is that they are building an army and that war is coming to Wakanda. And that is the issue, guys. We got a lot of info on that mysterious element, and now we know what it does. Can you imagine building an entire empire with one element? Wow, things are gonna go crazy and nuts. If you like this video, again, sub and like, and I will see y'all next time. Peace out. We begin in West Africa, where a doctor is caring for a critically ill boy. But just as all hope seems lost, a sudden burst of energy crashes through the room. The doctor's concern is replaced with surprise as Khonshu bursts in, claiming to possess extraordinary healing powers. There is suffering, so I came, says Khonshu. With a mere touch of his hands, the boy's pain subsides, and he's good now. This miraculous display earns Khonshu a following, with people hailing him as a godlike figure. Meanwhile, back at the palace, T'Challa sits on his throne, flanked by his sister Shuri. She expresses her concerns about Khonshu's abilities. They say he built a kingdom. They are following Khonshu because of these miracles, says Shuri. People believe in his power as if he was a god. His power comes from that element. As you know, in the last issue, we found out that the element gave life, enhanced life, and could build kingdom. And the enemy stole a bit of it. T'Challa insists that he will not wage war to people that follow him. You sound like Eric. And she warns her brother not to trust him completely. T'Challa insists on avoiding conflict, but Shuri senses an ulterior motive behind Eric and Storm's actions, as she warns T'Challa not to fall for her. As T'Challa reminds her that they have fought on his side and that he trusts them completely. Could they be trusted though? We shall see. As we shift to a romantic scene between Eric and Storm, it's clear that they are rekindling their passion. They've both faced hardships and slept under the stars, but tonight they deserve a break and a bed as they go back to making out. Wow, these two, man. Next, we find ourselves in the Temple of Ra, where Wakanda's fate is being decided. Ra declares that Wakanda won't be silenced, while Khonshu prioritize war and seek to build an army. Ra craves power and seek to reclaim the stolen element, warning that with the entire fragment in hand, they could wreak havoc. Can you imagine if they got the whole thing? What kind of damage can they do? Khonshu remains unfazed by Wakanda's potential response, as Ross says that he underestimates T'Challa. We then cut to a mineral refinery, where terrorists disguised as Khonshu's follower launch an attack. Villains with knives comes in the name of Khonshu, as they are wearing explosive blowing themselves out. Evacuate your people, as we see the Black Panther arriving to save the day, battling villains with his superior suit and agility. But we see an outside force with power blowing up the building. The Panther jumps out of it. As he confronts Khonshu for the first time, they engage in a heated argument about Wakanda's future. With tensions escalating, T'Challa declares that Wakanda will stop at nothing to protect its people. Khonshu retorts that there's nothing T'Challa can do to stop him, as the Black Panther goes into the fight. But not now, as Khonshu walks away and say, I suppose we'll have a war. The stage is set for an epic war. But where are Eric and Storm when we need them? The Black Panther stands strong for his people. Now, that is the issue. If you enjoyed this issue, please subscribe for more updates. The Black Panther is so great standing for his people. If you want more, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.